Hey everybody, thought I'd do a quick video for you. It is 2020 and hopefully you are making plans for a fabulous, tastefully simple year. I already know you are because the All Stars are the best team in the entire company. So, want to cheer you on a little bit. We ended the year as a gold team, so right in there golden. This next year I'd really like us to become a platinum team. And the reason I want that is because I am making some pretty fun money and earning trips every year with Tastefully Simple. And if I know that we are a platinum team, that means I know people on my team are making some money and maybe earning some incentives they would like to. And it's quite simple. So I want to just share some tips that maybe we forget. But I wanted to show some other things too. I just ordered the reset so that I could do reset sometime. I'm traveling this week for work. I'm traveling the next week for work. And then the next week is a stock show and my house is full of company. And the next week I'm traveling for work to Pennsylvania. So hopefully after that I'll be home so I can do reset. But with reset, it's so much fun. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but now when you place an order, there's this neat card that comes in there with thank you, and they've been doing that, but they're also including recipes, and our clients are getting these too, and it is so cool. So I have a recipe here for garlic spicy shredded pork that sounds phenomenal. And then I also have a sauteed citrus herb cod recipe, and it's so cool because the prep time for both these recipes is 15 minutes. So people can see Tastefully Simple is simple. Some other things that are in there, people that order in January, and I think these started coming out in December, if they place an order of $70 or more and use a promo code Fresh Start, they save 15%. I save 15% if I just go to tastefullysimple.com and order and use a promo code Fresh Start, which is exactly what I did when I ordered Reset. And by the way, I see this goes through February 9th. So I ordered Reset. I'm making money on my order and I saved 15% off the cost. So I thought that was pretty cool. So the other thing I wanted to show you is with Reset now. It's this really cool book that like comes with the 30 meal kit. It is phenomenal. It's got every kind of hint, every kind of tip. It's got tips for success in here. It has got what's next, some food tips for eating out. It is so cool. And I know some people that have had tremendous success with Reset. So I'm excited to just get away from junk food and eat healthy and use this. So those are some cool things that are going on. I wanted to just share some stuff. I think that I have been extremely lucky with Tastefully Simple for a few reasons. One is I do have a fabulous team. I've met so many of you on this team through Tastefully Simple and maybe wouldn't even know you if it wasn't for this. Or if I did already know you, I'm a lot more connected to you now because we are on this journey together, and I want you to remember that. Some people tell me that I'm lucky because I earned trips. I got in at the right time. That has nothing to do with it. It all has to do with how I run my business. And I want to give you some really simple things to show you that it isn't that hard. You can do this too. It was interesting. I was reading this article and it was about warriors. It's some wounded warriors. In fact, it's an amputee softball team, and it talks about warriors that obviously are wounded. They have lost legs, they've lost arms, they maybe lost their sight, and they have formed a softball team. And one of the comments on there was, we didn't think we'd be able to do normal things again. But you get on the team and you realize there's nothing holding you back except yourself. I think it's the same way in Tastefully Simple or any direct sales companies. If we don't do something, it's because we're holding ourselves back. And I really don't want you to do that. I want you to be willing to go for it because you are totally worth it. And so is your family and all the rewards that you can get from it. So There's nothing holding you back except yourself. There's nothing to lose. There's absolutely so much to gain. Uh, when I first started with Tastefully Simple, my first leadership trip I went to was to Orlando, Florida. At that time, every leadership had a name. It was called Leadership Pink Flamingo. Um, I was really nervous. I was going to my first leadership. I did not know other consultants that were there. Jim went with me, and so I was really fortunate about that. And while I was there, I heard a gentleman speak by the name of Dr. Tom Barrett. Dr. Tom Barrett wrote this book, Dare to Dream, Work to Win. It is a super book. If you are in any direct sales company, you need to read this book. This totally opened my eyes to the opportunity that I had in front of me. Now, I will tell you that Dr. Tom Barrett, in his talk, said if everybody in direct sales worked 15 minutes a day, they would be amazed at what happened. 15 minutes a day. You guys, I waste more than 15 minutes a day sometimes, and sometimes that's just 15 minutes a day staring off into space. I will tell you, I don't spend 15 minutes every day on my Tastefully Simple business, but that is one of my goals I'm hoping for this year is to spend 15 minutes a day on my business to see where it takes me. Because I'm not even doing that now and I'm still earning trips. So, but it was so cool to hear him say that. And it really is what we focus on and it's what we think about. And it just gives us so many amazing things. And as I'm sitting here, this isn't even in my notes for this video for you, but I'm looking up and above my desk, I have this picture. I don't know if you can see it as picture me and Jim, and we look so happy. And this is on one of our free trips that it was just this past year. That's part of my why. Spending time together, not having to worry about how to pay for it, not having to worry about putting a bunch of money, stuff on a credit card, knowing that we've got some time to go somewhere fun and be able to spend time together. So it's part of my why. Anyway, so I don't cry any further. I'm gonna move on. So, but if you have not read this book, go on Amazon. I'm sure you can still get it. Might have a different cover now. Dare to Dream, Work to Win by Dr. Tom Barrett. Phenomenal. And anybody can make money at Tastefully Simple. Any company they get into. It's all about how you spend your time working your business. So thinking about working your business, I think at the beginning of the year, since it's the beginning of a new tax year, this is a good time to share some things. Whenever you purchase anything for Tastefully Simple, please keep the receipt, write it down, track your expenses. If you are working this as a business, you can have business expenses that you deduct. And so you're throwing money away if you aren't tracking your expenses. Now, that means mileage. Oh goodness, where is it? So I've got a mileage book. Here's my vehicle mileage book. I keep it in the car. And every time I go somewhere, I write it down. I track it and I'm able to deduct that at the end of the year. So mileage, that's something to think about. Reset. I just shared Reset with you. I'm going to go on Facebook Live and I am going to, on my business page, I'm going to unpack my Reset box. And then I'm learning about Reset to share it with my clients. I'm going to write that off. I'm going to take the groceries that I buy for Reset and I'm going to write that off. These are business expenses. When you use Tastefully Simple products, which I hope you do, I hope you buy from yourself, and you're learning about the products and you're experimenting, write it off. Write the groceries off that you use to make those products. Those are business expenses. You are learning about your product and you are sharing. And I think a lot of people just forget there is so much that you can do. They are legitimate business expenses if you are legitimately working your business. How much is legitimately working your business? I guess that's kind of up to you. I think if you are actively selling products throughout the year, up and down, you are legitimately working your business. Here's the deal. I know tons of people that have hobbies. They play pool, they throw darts, they bowl. They spend way more time and more money at those hobbies than they do with Tastefully Simple. So even if you make Tastefully Simple your hobby and every week you dedicate an evening to it like you do throwing darts on a dart league, oh my gosh, you are legitimately working a business. Now you've turned your hobby into a money-making opportunity, and you can make it fun with some challenges and things too. So um, think about that. Also, some other things to think about, some things I do, I'll set up a party, my own party, because as consultants, we can also earn host rewards, which I think is cool. So really, Tastefully Simple is allowing us to double dip. So I set up a party, and every outside order that I get, or whenever I want to order, I order through my party. Right now, I have $1,200 of sales in a party. That means I've got $120 in free product coming to me, just like if I was a host. And guess what? If I take that $120 and I use it for inventory to sell at an exposure event, guess what my profit is? You've got it, 100%. So some people get hung up about, oh, I only make 30% if I sell 1,500 or more. I'm going to make 100% profit on that stuff. And so that's pretty cool. Or I can get my own Tastefully Simple stuff that I eat for free. So that's another thing. Something else to think about, TS Connected. If you have TS Connected, you can use these promo codes that I talked about earlier. So we've got a promo code right now, 15% off in order of $70 or more through February 9th. The promo code is Fresh Start. I can use this. So again, if I have an exposure event coming up and I need to order something for it, I am going to use this because now I make my commission, but I've also just made an extra 15%. I'm not passing that 15% off to my clients on the at the exposure event. I'm going to charge them the regular price, and I'm just making some extra money. So that is just being wise. It's using your resources. So what I would encourage you to do that too. Speaking of inventory, if you have inventory sitting on your shelf, you're not making money on it. It's sitting on your shelf. You've got money tied up. I would encourage you not to do that. A lot of times people ask me if I have something, if I need to trade something, and I say no, simply because I do not carry inventory. The inventory I have when I order it, it's things that I use that I'm going to eat. And if it's not something I use, I don't have it on inventory. It's that simple. If you do a lot of exposure events, you probably can carry a little bit more inventory because you're going to be turning that over. But if you do an exposure event here or there, don't do it. I did an exposure event, oh gosh, the middle of December, brand new one. I had never done it before. I don't like to pay much for exposure events, so it was $20 for a table. Now, what the heck? I'm going to give it a try. I have a little inventory before Christmas because I had ordered stuff for Christmas presents. I thought, well, if I sell it, I can reorder that for Christmas presents. So I didn't have tons of inventory. I went pretty much sold out of everything. I was the busiest vendor there. It wasn't a busy event. And so that was pretty cool that I sold out of a lot of that stuff. And people would come in and they'd say, do you have that? And I'd be like, no, I don't. Oh my gosh, I'm out of that. Can you believe it? That's how popular the product is. Now, maybe I didn't even show up there with it that night, but boy, I'm making them really want that product. So I had a list. I said, I can order it for you if you want. If you're not in a big hurry, I'll go home and order things tonight. Or you can order online, or you can get something else that I've got, and I would recommend something else. And a lot of times if people wanted right away, they bought something else I had on the table. So it's about helping our customers also understand and maybe try some new things that they haven't tried before. So watch it with the inventory. You don't need it sitting there getting old. Start eating it if you've got it, or maybe have an open house at your house and say it's an inventory reduction open house. And if people come, I don't know, give them something, order those little garlic packets or spinach in her packets, And if they come and buy something, you'll give them one of those for free. It doesn't cost you hardly anything, and it is retail product, so it does count for your sales. So be really, really careful with how much inventory that you have on hand. Um, I'm trying to think, what do I even say? Where do we start with parties? I tell you what, I try to do 4 parties a month. At 4 parties a month, and not every month do I even do 4 parties, I earn a free trip every year. I work 4 times a week. In January, 3 of my parties are Facebook parties. One is a tasting party. Oh, one was a tasting party. It was to be last Friday night. And guess what? I didn't have the tasting party because we had bad roads. Not in Rapid, but the party was going to be in Whitewood where they had bad roads. So the host and I got online and took turns doing Facebook Live videos during that time. We figured out a way to make it work because she had already made the products. She did a phenomenal job. The people that were going to come to the party, she had messaged them and said, hey, you can't make it. You're at home anyway. Hop on the party, hop on the Facebook event at 6:30, and Peggy and I are going to do some videos. She did a phenomenal job. We had a lot of fun, and the people that were there said it was great. Which goes back to, oh my gosh, this is weird. I have people tell me that they can't get people to have parties. So I'm at the exposure event in December, and I had 2 separate ladies. Remember, this is an exposure event that wasn't very busy. Come up to me and say, I have told consultants that I wanted to have parties, and they've never called me. You have to call people. You have to talk to people. Ask them. And then get okay with hearing a no. We have heard that you get 9 no's and 1 yes. So have you really got 10 no's in a row? And I tell you what, I can't remember the last time I got a no. Literally everybody I ask has said they'll do a party because I talked to them about, when do you want to do a party? Would you, we can do parties on Facebook, we can do tasting parties and give them all the options. And then I say, and you can even pick what month. Tell me what month you want to have a party. I'll jot it down. I'll call you like 2 months before. You want to have a party in June. I'll call you the end of April. We'll figure out when to do that. And guess what? If I call you in April and you say, oh my gosh, I'm gone the entire month of June on vacation, good for you. You just give me another month that works for you. And so now I have all these lists of people to call. And when I call them, well, to be honest with you, I don't call them because I don't like to talk on the phone. I text them, and very seldom I get people say they don't want to do a party. Almost all of them do. People eat, you guys. So if you have a hard time getting people to book parties, talk to me about it. I will help you. It's a skill that you can develop. And you can find the things that work best for you, that you are the most comfortable with. And if you don't like picking up that phone, I tell you what, text messages work great because people can respond back right away. I know when people leave me a voicemail, sometimes I don't get it for a couple days because I see it's on there. I can't listen to it right now because I'm in the middle of something, and then I forget about it. So, but a voicemail or a text message, I can look, and sometimes if I'm sitting in a meeting, I can just respond right back. So for me, text messages work. I don't know. You have to decide what works for you. And then, but be willing to accept the no's. So become excellent at asking. Be excited about what we're doing. I've had people tell me, Peggy, your parties are so much fun. Well, you know why they're fun? Because we have great food, and the people that come to the parties are great people. And I make it about the people and the food, and we have a great time, and they are fun. And so that's why I think I'm successful at getting bookings off those parties too. And then I follow up. I'm not one of those people that people talk about and say, well, I told Peggy I wanted to have a party and she never called me. I always tell them, I will get a hold of you if you tell me that. So anyway, um, something else you can become good at and build skills at is host coaching. At $500 of party sales, our hosts get free host rewards. And that means they save a lot of money. I don't have parties that are under 500 sales. I really don't let my hosts close a party at under 500 in sales because I want them to get that free shipping. And I tell them that right away, right from the start. When we do our host coaching, I'll tell my hosts, you know what? we are going to shoot for a minimum of 500 in sales because you do not like to pay shipping. And one of the benefits of being a host is that you don't have to pay shipping on your host rewards when you hit 500 in sales. Okay, so right away, they're in that mindset. Let's say they have a party. It is a Facebook party, and we're moving along and they hit 250 in sales. I'd cheer them on. I'll be like, oh my gosh, you are halfway there. You are going to do it. Or let's say that I'm leaving a tasting party and it's at 450. Obviously, they're going to hit it. I'm like, you're only $50 away. You're going to be at 400. Look at the host rewards this month say at $600, you earn this free. Go for that. You're only 150 away. You can do it. And you know what? Most of the time they do. So a lot of it is cheering your hosts on and showing that it's possible, not like, oh, well, you're only at 250. I don't know if you're going to get another 250. I had one host that she literally was at 300. She needed 200 more. And she's like, Peggy, I don't know if I can do it. And I'm like, I bet you can. I said, why don't you try putting it up there on Facebook that you're really, really close to your goal and that you're having a party in and just see who needs some products. She closed her party at $750. She's like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, it's just asking. So I'm hoping that I'm giving you some tips that will help you, that will get you excited. I want you to think about your why. Why are you doing this? And what would you do with that extra money? Literally, I mean, my commission, I do, a lot of my months I'm at 2,000 in sales. I try to really be at $1,500 a month. I make a $500 profit at 1,500 in sales. What would you do with an extra 500 a month? I mean, I'm making extra $6,000 a year. I'm not going to get a $6,000 raise at my job, but I'm working minimally, tastefully simple, and I'm making $6,000 if I figure every month at 1,500, but I can't do that because a lot of months I'm over 1,500. So I'm making $500 profit plus a month. You can do this too. I totally believe in you. The only thing that's holding you back is you. If you need to build some skill in an area or there's a tough time in an area, talk to me about it. I can help you. I've been there. When I started Tastefully Simple, I didn't know anything about direct sales. In fact, I thought direct sales were kind of weird. And I tell you what, I have learned a lot. Oh, I know one other thing I want to tell you, and I'm sorry this video is getting so long, but there's just so many exciting things to tell you and just so much that I love about Tastefully Simple and that I really want you to love too. This last year at Party Palooza, which by the way, this year Party Palooza is in Minneapolis again. It's our 25th year. Tastefully Simple turns 25. It's a big one. If there's any way you can come to Minneapolis, do. It's going to be a party. But last year at Party Palooza, we had a phenomenal speaker. Karen Clark is her name, and she wrote a book on social media for direct selling representatives. And this book has so many amazing tips. And so if you are interested in using social media to sell and working from home because that's easier for you and it fits into your schedule, you know what? I would highly recommend this book, Social Media for Direct Selling Representatives by Karen Clark. And I will tell you one of the things that I do like about Facebook parties is they really require probably more host coaching and more explaining how to invite people and get them to join. But once you do that, you intermittently post on Facebook if you're doing a Facebook event over days. So literally 5 minutes a day and you're taking care of it and you can still be earning money. So with that, I hope I've given you some things to think about, maybe some ideas of things that you would like to do this year, that you would like to try this year. Questions, please contact me. We all start where we're at, and where you're at now is great because you are already a consultant. You've already made that step. Why not make the best of it? Why not make the most of it? Why not take this opportunity that you've been given, that you said yes to, and see what you can do? Because if you do, I can guarantee you will be surprised. So take care. I'll see you at another time, and have a good rest of the weekend.